Yes, sir. It's the 9 to 5 Sports Guys, episode 34. 34, right? 34. It's your boy T.
It's your man TJ.
It's your boy Nam. Welcome back.
Yeah, and I know we went on a little 2-week hiatus, but we had other stuff and scheduling, and it was my daughter's birthday, my oldest daughter. Shout out to Amaya. She turned 7, and we just gonna get straight into it. We got a few things to talk about. First things first. We're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers, who have won their 17th championship, led by who led them?
LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo. How you say his initials? Pope, C. Pope.
Okay.
All those guys.
Okay.
KCP.
Yeah, KCP.
Yeah. Now, the Lakers tied Boston, I think, with 17 championships.
Yep.
Do you guys, well, first of all, we can all agree that we thought it was going to be Boston versus LA for the finals.
No.
Which would have been very fitting.
I originally picked Miami, so I never thought that.
Okay.
He did.
He did. Okay. All right, I'll give you that. But now Boston and LA have 17 apiece. Now, do both of y'all, I'm gonna ask both of y'all, do y'all see the Lakers possibly going back to back?
I see them appearing in it. I can't say for sure they'll be back to back. I don't know what's going to happen in the East.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's hard to tell what's going to happen in the NBA period for us come next season. It hasn't even started yet, so we don't know how that's going to look as far as the full season goes with this COVID. So I don't know. I mean, right now, they're the champions till somebody dethrone them. So, it's possible. Now,
also, LeBron has won his fourth Finals MVP. This is his fourth championship. First player to win three MVPs, Finals MVPs with three different teams. People thought Kawhi was going to do it. He had a chance to do it this year, but didn't. Do you guys see LeBron slowing down anytime soon?
Well, Father Time comes to everybody, so eventually it's going to happen. You just don't know when. They look real good with that, with his play in the bubble. So I guess that rest did some justice.
Mm-hmm.
But, Father Time is undefeated, so it's going to come. Just a matter of when. What's this, 18th season?
Well, it's starting the 18th season.
It's on 18th season, so, yeah. As long as he keep putting his body through the type of workouts that he do, he can last.
Got the cryo chamber.
I don't know, man. I really don't see him slowing down. Like, even if he starts to slow down, I think he'll walk away from the game like Kobe did. So we'll never actually see the full extent of him slowing down. But I think we'll get another shortened season, which will be in his favor.
But that's the mistake a lot of them do.
And that's fine.
They want to go and get that next one, but they don't get it, and then now sitting in their mind, do I want to go ahead and retire? Well, you should have done that on a high note when you was the champ, and you had that option to go ahead on out. What else do you have to get?
Right.
MVPs, scoring titles, what are you going to get? Defensive player of the years, or you have nothing to chase. So I figure if he doesn't, I would want to go on a high note.
So you want him to retire?
Not necessarily. Let's be real. Okay, LeBron's best thing we've seen since Kobe. So, who's the best thing you're gonna see now once he go?
Probably.
Can you honestly say who can take it right now from LeBron and run with it?
I would say
Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that's what.
Well, that's not. I didn't want to mention him yet because best guy ain't played yet.
Yeah.
So
Well, go ahead. You were saying Kevin Durant.
If it's not KD, then I'll say Anthony Davis because we just seen him.
Mm-hmm.
But
outside of that, everybody else is around 30, maybe Kawhi. But
so take LeBron from that team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we looking at the Pelicans again?
Absolutely.
Okay,
so
definitely. It's the exact same roster.
Okay. All right. So what I'm saying is, how long was he over there in New Orleans? 7 years? 8 years?
Seven or eight. One of those two.
Could you say through those 7 to 8 years that he was the man to take it over from LeBron then? Including injuries now, because the injuries had played a big part in it.
Individually, you can say that, but not collectively as a unit. We when he was at the Pelicans, we always said, they're a star away, a superstar away, whatever. But there's something missing.
I don't see nobody Because if you take a look at the legends, let's just say Magic, let's just say Jordan, let's just say Kobe, or Shaq, or whatever. Now you're saying LeBron. All these guys were playing almost every single game.
Right.
Yeah.
Who can you say that can take the reins right now as the leader of the NBA and can barely play games? I have nobody.
Well, from that standpoint, I see where you're coming from.
Right.
I see where you're coming from.
You
This
sound,
is
you sound like a big LeBron fan today. Man.
I know, right? This is shocking. It's only.
I don't even know what to say right now.
It only took 34 episodes.
That's all it takes.
It only took 34 episodes. But what you made a great point. Steph has been dinged up. Kawhi, we know about the load managing. He took half a season, and it took for LeBron's 17th year for him to really get hurt. Kevin Durant has missed almost 2 full seasons. Because remember, a couple years back, he missed almost the whole season.
Yeah.
And then he missed this season this year. So, from that standpoint, I see where you're coming from. Now, I would say, and this is my personal opinion, when LeBron leaves, Kevin Durant has competition. Kevin Durant will be the best player. If he's not before LeBron leaves, Kevin Durant will be the best player. But Kevin Durant has Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard. He has other guys that are on his, not level, but can carry the league also, but LeBron literally carried the league for a long time.
From day one.
Now, but you notice none of us mentioned Giannis. No one's mentioned Giannis' name.
No.
Because skills wise, he's not at the level that we need him to be at. So he still has a lot of room for improvement. Even though, granted, everything he's done is great. He's a back-to-back MVP, Defensive Player of the Year.
But
has led his team to 65 wins or 60 wins plus back-to-back years, but he just doesn't have that next gear to take over the league. He's taking over the Eastern Conference right now, but we'll see what happens when Kevin Durant plays there next season.
That's my thing, dude. Do we put too much? Do we put too much into this MVP voting, or what declares you to be an MVP of the league? Because I mean, Giannis once again is back to back, but you on the same losing team again.
Yeah,
sitting at home.
With no Kawhi, and I keep saying this, and me and Nam went back and forth last year, and Nam was kind of getting on me saying that I was
a Giannis hater.
A Giannis hater. But my whole thing with that,
just call it what it is.
It's all right. But my whole thing with Giannis is, okay, this year it was literally no excuse because you had no Kawhi. Like, all right, you went against Kawhi last year. Kawhi was the better player.
Right. Had the better team.
Had the better team. He was more experienced. He never played against LeBron whenever LeBron was in the East, in the playoffs. So this year was your year where you dominated the East. You dominated the league. And I hate to put him in a comparison with LeBron, but it's like LeBron took a bunch of role players to a finals, and you had the best record in the East, and you couldn't.
Even collectively as a team, they were probably the best team up until the stoppage of COVID.
Absolutely.
Because they were blowing everybody out by a margin of at least
Milwaukee.
15.
Milwaukee.
They were blowing everybody out as a team by a margin of at least 15 points every game.
And then you play against Miami, and you lose the first 2 games.
Right.
You get hurt the 3rd game, which is injuries happen. But then the 4th game, the team beats Miami with you not being there. Now, I'm not saying it was, they're a better team without Giannis, obviously. Right. But I'm just saying your presence is not really felt as far as one of these dominant players. Like Kevin Durant, and I've been saying this for a long time, Kevin Durant is one of those guys that he can bring a team to the finals, but besides LeBron, you can't really say nobody else that one person, no matter what team he's on, he can bring a team to the finals.
But that goes to just highlight the fact that the gap between LeBron and the next player after him is day and night.
Giannis is taking the same. You're right. He has taken the same path as LeBron, so to speak. Being on a suck team for this long and really not having to have any peace. Well, actually. He's had better. He may have had.
He got
a
better
couple
pieces.
better pieces than LeBron.
Yes, because everybody who came, Shaq, Antoine Jameson, Larry Hughes, those guys were not in the Larry Hughes,
they were well outside of their prime.
Yeah, that's what I was
Larry Hughes' peak is not compared to any other superstar that he needed.
Maybe Valanciunas, but I mean, he was a big man that could shoot. That could shoot a little bit. He had a hook shot or whatever, but he's taking the same path as LeBron has. Now, I don't know if it's going to take him 17 years to get a shot. I hope not, because
well, LeBron be finished soon.
By then, the goal will be 14 feet. So
LeBron will be finished. So by then, All right, real quick, NBA restart. Now, I've been hearing rumors that they're looking to go for December 22nd, which is right around the corner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But also, I've also heard that the players would rather play on MLK Day next year. In your opinion, and we all could take turns, which one do you feel makes more sense? And for 72 games, which one you think makes more sense?
Well, I mean, the holidays are not going to really be the holidays this year. So my thing is, the earlier start you can get, the better. I mean, why would you want to wait till MLK? I mean, you can still play on that day.
Yeah.
They can schedule that thing. They know how to do that. Mm-hmm. You can still play on that day. But I figured you go ahead and get a good jump on it. Why not? I mean,
from a selfish standpoint, they should start regular time, right? That'll be like 2 weeks from now or something. That's from a selfish standpoint. But for us to get quality competition without people being injured, I'd say MLK Day, because for a team like Miami and the Lakers, who have been in the bubble the full extent time, they need some time to adjust and rest and what have you, especially the Lakers, because they have a lot of older players.
Oh, they had that time already.
What?
You had that time before
2 months?
You had that time 3 months, pretty much. You had it before you started playing.
Right. But imagine the other, 14 teams that didn't go to the bubble.
9 months
they had
off.
9 months off.
And that's why you need to go ahead and start playing now. Those guys been sitting down the whole time.
Come on, Troy. Yeah. Give them another extra month to kind of get some rest, spend time with their friends, their family. Yeah, of course, I'm selfish too, but
now
realistically, I would want that.
I'm glad you guys said that, and I'll let y'all go before, because I was going to say, from a fan standpoint, we're like, you guys are professionals. You got to get back out there.
This is your job. Go play.
But from a just a human, realistic standpoint, it's like during the regular season, the finals are end in June. Everyone has. Well, not everyone, but you at least have a couple months, at least 4 months before you start going back to it.
Right.
So to give the Lakers and the Heat only 2 months off,
if that,
because
training camp would start somewhere in between, right before
November.
Only reason
in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Only reason I say that though, God said the grind of the bubble has been just that, in the bubble. You have not traveled. You have not went coast to coast.
No.
Yeah. So that's why I say it's not really taxing on your body.
So let me ask you this.
I'm talking about as far as like them being able to spend time with their family. They stayed in the bubble for 3 months.
True.
Away from their family.
So let me ask you this.
Let's give them that opportunity.
Did you not see Jimmy Butler at the end of game 4? Was it game 5?
Yeah.
He was about to die out there. So you mean to tell me you can't give Jimmy Butler?
I mean, I go with you now. Y'all explain a little better. I agree with you.
I mean, listen. Just because LeBron make it look easy, don't mean that it is easy.
LeBron plays 46 minutes a game.
Hey, look,
Jimmy Butler played 47 minutes,
you right.
and he almost died after one game.
You right.
LeBron's been doing it for 17 years.
You right.
Yes.
Perfectly fine.
You right.
So that's all we saying. All right, next year, this is a big question. We got to see what the Clippers do when they reload. But I think a lot of people are forgetting that the Warriors have had 9 months off. Now, we have to see what they draft or if they trade the pick or whatever. But Steph is healthy, Clay is healthy, Draymond is healthy. Now, who do you see competing against the Lakers besides the whole rest of the West? Everybody's going to get better. Who do you see competing more or a bigger threat to the Lakers next year, the Warriors or the Clippers?
I still say the Clippers. If they, they'll probably add some pieces in there, but
yeah,
it's going to be more of a threat for them just because of the way they got kicked out.
Yeah.
So it's going to mean more to them. Mm-hmm. The Warriors, they on type of a tour, I guess, or something, or back on track tour. So they wouldn't be as much of a threat right now. Of course, I won't really know until after the All-Star break as to what it was going to be like. But I think the Clippers, just because of the way they didn't get there to play like we all expect them to, so I think it's going to mean more.
Well, I'll play devil's advocate and I'll pick the Warriors, man, because I think they have an equal chip on their shoulder because everybody has forgotten about them.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they basically dominated majority of that last decade, 5 straight finals, they dominated that.
It happens,
and we just look past them like, you guys missed one season or a season and a half of injuries. Forget them.
It happens. I mean, you have
it does.
You have a team that dominates.
But the fact that we write them off and they're still in their primes, I think they puts a chip in their shoulder.
Not only write them off, but disrespect the legend Steph Curry. Remember what Kenny Smith said? Steph Curry got range, but I think Dame Lillard. And I'm like,
whoa, wait a minute.
We live in a microwave society. Just because Steph Curry,
we just forgot. What this man was doing.
this man's been doing this since college.
Yeah.
He's been shooting that deep from college. So the fact that Steph Curry chimed in and said, I love you, Kenny, but you bugging, like you know what I mean? Yeah. And I think he has a chip on his shoulder, to
prove.
That's the media. Forgot about the media hypes a lot of the players and stuff up. They cause a lot of this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it might not be as big as we think it is, but the media builds that stuff up. But in a sense, you may be right. The Warriors they do have a bigger chip on their shoulder, but at the same time, you got to figure what last 2-3 seasons here.
Mm-hmm.
Really hasn't been a factor just because of injuries, trades, and things of that nature. So they'll probably get back. They're more likely to get back in the fold. You still got the Splash Brothers. I'm not really stuck on Draymond Green. Of course, the motivational speaker that he is will always be there. But I'm talking
heart
about
and soul.
From a player standpoint, producing standpoint, they got to get somebody else in there. They still got Wiggins, right?
Yeah.
They got to get somebody else in there.
They got Wiggins in the number 2 pick. So we'll see what happens with that whole thing right there.
If they imagine, you just figure if they were to get old boy from Georgia or
a Wiseman or
something like that, I think it'd be. Of course, we don't know how they'll transition to the NBA, but from what they look like right now, it'd be a good pickup for them, and they'll be right back in the fold.
How fast do y'all think Tyronn Lue's system will transition into being a good thing for the Clippers? Because they have to gel again now. Because I'm sure Doc's coaching style or coaching philosophy is different from Ty Lue. Even though Ty Lue came up under Doc, I'm sure he coaches differently.
Yeah, but his coaching style also was Doc's system was thrown out the door when he went coach LeBron James. Mm-hmm. So you know what I'm saying. Whatever system he had before, it's not going to work for LeBron James.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how his system is going to work for them because I've only seen him coach LeBron James.
Right.
So I don't know how it's going to work.
LeBron is his own system.
Right.
So how fast do we think that will work, and how fast can they gel and be a cohesive unit?
Well, you already you got the personnel there. You got the talent there.
You do, but they haven't played together because of load management and all the nonsense that we seen this past year.
Right, but I mean they have been together. I mean they did have a season last year before COVID started, so they did have a chance. They went fishing and all that stuff, trying to bond with each other.
Right.
So I mean they do have some type of glue there,
to
help Tyronn Lue with. But like I said, I don't know his I won't know his coaching style because he was coaching 4 of the guys minus LeBron on the Cleveland Cavaliers, so you just don't know how it's going to work.
I got a quick question. I seen a quote about Allen Iverson and Kyrie Irving from Kevin Durant, and he was basically saying, I'm paraphrasing, that he felt that Kyrie was better than Allen Iverson because he had more skill. Now, I think the NBA has to do a better job of drug testing these players.
Yes.
Because that's just ridiculous. No disrespect to Kyrie, and I know this is the second episode. It feels like, we're getting on Kyrie. Kyrie's a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal player. But you cannot compare Allen Iverson to Kyrie Irving. There was people feared Allen Iverson.
First of all, Kyrie Irving puts himself into the media. We just happen to chime in on it.
Yeah.
So he puts himself there. I mean, like I was saying to y'all earlier, man, it should be, the question versus the answer. Because what are you getting from Kyrie?
Yeah.
Except injuries.
Yes.
And a lot of mouth.
Yes.
And now something. Now, when you were talking with the, Black Lives Matter thing, I'm all ears. I hear you. But other nonsense, you don't need coaching and all this other stuff. I mean, what is this to stay relevant, to stay in the media? You know, I don't know, but to me, I'm going to take AI all day. I mean, him by himself with nobody on his team was able to go challenge the Lakers at least for one game in the finals. You know, availability versus ability.
Yes, absolutely.
AI was there to play. My man, he's barely on the court. Now, when he on the court, he balling.
Yeah.
But who does he make better versus AI?
AI was a dog.
It's a beast, man. Go get it.
I'm gonna basically echo what you said, because if you put Kyrie on that 01 Sixers team, how far do they go? I don't even think they're getting past. I think they.
Bro, they don't even make
played
playoffs.
the Pacers that season in the Western. They're not getting past anybody.
And that was barely. They barely beat the Pacers.
In 7.
Yeah,
it was in 7.
No, they played Toronto.
Was it Toronto?
No.
Yeah.
You know what?
AI.
It was Toronto.
Because him and Vince was
Because
going
Vince
back and forth.
going back and forth.
They was
That's
the
right.
first player
Yep.
to go 50 for 50. 50.
Oh, okay.
Points.
That's right.
But they did play Indiana that season though.
And they would have they
they're
would
not
have
winning.
made it unless Vince made that three. If he had shot that three, then it would have been Toronto instead of Philly.
Yeah.
Now look, the other side of the argument. If you put AI on one of those Boston teams that Kyrie was recently on,
With Jason Tatum and
Tatum,
and
Brown, all those young guys.
I'll even bring Al Horford back just to have him in that rebound. You know.
The season before, if you
And
put
Gordon
AI,
Hayward. Gordon Hayward
if
was.
you put AI on that team,
They get into the finals.
they're potentially winning the finals.
It's a big difference.
They could get at least 2-3 games in the finals with that team.
That's a great
We
point.
actually seen that. It might not be his prime, but we saw when he was in Denver.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you swap them into their best moments on wherever you put them at, I think AI performs better more than Kyrie. We're praising Kyrie so much because of that shot and his performance from Game 4 to Game 7 in the NBA Finals in that 3-1 comeback. That's where we're getting all this. Hey, he's better than it. No, he's not. He's great.
Could you imagine him on that Cavs team
With
with
LeBron?
LeBron?
Yeah, that's what I'm
When
saying.
they were playing the Warriors, could you imagine that?
Yeah.
It would never come to 3-1.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It
saying.
would never come to
Even
that.
That's what
with
I'm
Kevin
saying.
Durant. Now, I'm not saying that it wouldn't have been tough, but AI and Braun,
AI played defense too.
yes.
You remember in Denver, early in Carmelo's career, they're going back and forth, 40 for 40 every night, 35 for 35 every night. Him and LeBron could easily do that in Cleveland every night.
Yeah.
Kyrie is great, don't get me wrong, but AI to me is better. AI is always available, even when he's hurt.
Yeah.
Kyrie,
Kyrie
we don't really know what we're going to get from him.
I don't think Kyrie gonna make Hall of Fame.
Nah, he will at some point. I don't think he's first ballot. I think at some point AI is the first ballot anyways.
I think his injury is gonna keep him away from it.
Maybe.
Yeah, because he does get injured a lot.
You got to be on the court to make a Hall of Fame. You got to produce.
Speaking of Hall of Fame, I got two people right now. If they was to retire, are they in the Hall of Fame? Dwight Howard,
No.
and Rajon Rondo.
I give it. I say Rondo will probably get in there for Dwight Howard.
You mean like first ballot or are they Hall of Famers? Period. Both of them are Hall of Famers.
I don't know. Would you? Okay,
They're not first ballots.
Are we going to give him Hall of Fame based off his Orlando numbers?
With just his whole career,
Yeah.
I think the ring solidified his Hall of Fame.
Yeah. The ring, the defensive players of the year.
I don't know, because then now you're gonna say, okay. Now we're getting the argument and say Robert Horry might as well be in there too just because he got 7. He was a journeyman as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
Dwight is a
people
journeyman.
forget before he was a
the
journeyman.
latter half of his career.
What, right after the Lakers, he was like, you can't stay on the team.
No, I know
Well,
that.
no,
but
the
before
Rockets.
That
was after the Rockets.
Yeah, because he was on the Rockets.
He was
for
on
a
the
couple
Rockets
years
for a while.
before he
Yeah.
started bouncing around.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like after that, he went to the Lakers and he just kept going everywhere.
But the thing is, before that, his career before that, he was
he was
dominant.
He was
arguably-
legit.
He was arguably the best
with
center in the league.
With Orlando, he was legit.
He was dominant.
Didn't
so
he get like 3? Didn't he get Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah,
three
like
times in a row. Something like that?
yeah.
Yeah, and multiple All-Star appearances, the slam dunk contest. So he has accolades here and there that
All defense.
he just
all
needed the
NBA.
chip. And once he got the chip, he's not a first ballot, but he gets in at some point. Same. If Rondo gets one more, I think you can argue first ballot.
Basically, I'm not saying comparing the two, but Clyde Drexler had a Hall of Fame career before he got the chip with Houston. So that chip kind of just put the icing on the cake for Clyde Drexler.
Yeah.
I
guess so.
I got a quick question too.
Okay.
Doc Rivers and I think now they're adding Daryl Morey. How does that help, or what does that even do for them? Daryl Morey, he's from the Rockets, the GM with the analytics and numbers and shit like that. How does that help the Sixers as far as?
Well, he's a scorer. He can shoot.
Who?
More.
No. Daryl Morey, he's the GM, and the Sixers added him.
I think you're talking about the player.
No. They added the Sixers. They added.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, we gotta start drug
Forgive
testing
me.
here.
Forgive me.
Gotta start drug testing
Forgive me.
too.
I'm thinking of something else. My fault.
How does that help the Sixers, if any?
I think we got to figure out, because remember they had the process, so they had a plan, and now we just got to figure out what's Doc's plan. Like, what is he gonna,
Right.
So I think with that, once we figure out what Doc is trying to do and if he can execute, I think they'll be good.
Somebody got to go.
One of the two, I agree.
Somebody got to go. We've said this several times. Embiid and Simmons do not work together.
Right.
You're crowding everything.
Right.
I mean, even if you had a penetrating guard, he couldn't even do it.
That's exactly.
So one of them got to go. And if it's me, I'm gonna chime off of Stephen A. Smith. I would probably go get rid of Ben for Harden if I could.
If you
No. They're talking about getting rid of Embiid for Harden.
I mean, I'm saying I was chiming off of what Stephen A. said. He was like, if it's me, I'm going to get Harden, get rid of Ben Simmons for James Harden, send Ben Simmons to Houston.
On that note, we got to take a break. We'll be back in a second. Yes.